This is Craig, and I'm back with movie review number 20, is it, for Haunted Month of Horror? Again, when you know where we are now, you've seen a few videos in this place. This is in the office, because I realized I teach today to 6 o'clock, and I did not have a video pending. I thought I did, but the movie we're going to cover today is one that I think a lot of people might be aware of. I think a lot of people might have seen it, maybe going through the Netflix feed, and maybe not necessarily landed on it because the preview might set it look like it goes one way when it really goes another. But the movie we're talking about today is Havenhurst, and not really a spoiler because I've told you every video we've done is this month is all about thumbs ups and movies I enjoyed. And I'll be honest with you, Havenhurst is one of those movies. I actually enjoyed it a lot more because of the ending. It was one of those movies that if the ending didn't do something a little different, then it would have been okay, pretty standard, and I don't know if it would have made this. But since the ending was what it was, I'm not going to give it to you, then it was worth watching. Complete disclosure, one of the big reading factors to me checking out this movie, one of the impetuses to me watching this movie is Danielle Harris is in this movie. I think. I mean, if you blink, you might miss her. Well, not really. Not blink, but she's only in the first few minutes, the first scene. She sort of is the friend that goes missing. But the lead actress in this one is also somebody that horror fans should be familiar with. And I know, I mean, she's been in some one-off horror flicks as well, but, you know, more probably best known for roles in a couple of pretty iconic TV series, in my opinion anyway. In Buffy, she was Darla. She reprised the same role in Angel, but more to the horror fan, because not every horror fan likes Buffy and Angel. I get it. I am one of those horror fans that did enjoy Buffy and Angel and sure like Supernatural. But she was also Rita in Dexter, and Dexter is one of the better shows on TV. And it's appropriate, though, that Dexter was about a serial killer. Because one thing I will spoil for you, and I'm doing it because I actually think it'll make people more interested in the film, and if you don't want to spoil it, then unfortunately you should sign off right now and maybe come back later on and see if you agree with what I'm about to say. The killer, whatever the entity, whatever's happening, it is serial killer rated. And they tell you that very early on. In fact, there was something that annoyed me. They showed a picture on the wall, and my mind didn't automatically know who it was. Because when I was, some of you might know what I do for a living. I teach psychology now, but I do it in my psychology training. I dabbled with the idea of going into something of a profiling thing. I know it sounds crazy because how hard that stuff is to do, but yeah, you know, I was young, naive, whatever. And so I did do a lot of research and a lot of so serial killers and stuff like that. And one very interesting one was H.H. Holmes. And essentially, the villains in this movie pick off of his MO because they were his extended family, next couple of generations, etc. So I don't think that's spoiling anything because I think you pick it up quickly enough in it. But a lot of times people might be more drawn to that serial killer movie than just some random ghost that you can't see. In this case, the person that's in the walls is an actual person, and they're coming to get you. Now, Julie Benz, who I don't know if I gave her name a little while ago, who was Darla and Rita, you know, she's looking for her friend, Danielle Harris, who was actually named Danielle in the movie, so it's awfully convenient that I don't have to remember what her character name was. Havenhurst is a halfway house of sorts, you know, recovering addicts of all sorts, alcohol, drugs, even sex addiction, stuff of that nature. And as long as you're good, you get to stay. But if you're bad, you get evicted. And little do they know evicted means vanished and murdered. So unfortunately, Danielle Harris, she was living with a guy who was doing coke, and she was doing some stuff too, and so they were gone pretty quickly. So Julie Benz, she's in now looking for her friend, trying to figure out if she befriends this little girl, Belle Schultz, who she's part of that really cool ending, which that's all I'll say about that. And she is trying to figure out what happened. Here's the thing that gets me though, the one twist to it that personally I didn't like, because Julie Benz decides, well, if they come for you, if the bad people come for you, only if you break the rules, she decides she's going to try to break the rules. And she's a recovering alcoholic who, her alcoholism led to the death of a child. So she decides even though she's been clean, that she's still pursuing her friend, what happened to her friend, that she's going to drink. Now, it's almost like that show, oh, I can't remember the name of it. It was a good movie, though. The movie with, I got nothing. Kiefer Sutherland was the bad guy. I don't know. I'm not going to redo this video. It's essentially, it's the one where if you want to know what Sandra Bullock was abducted, if you want to know what happened. In fact, Kiefer Sutherland might not have been the bad guy. Kiefer Sutherland might have been the guy who is, if you want to know what happened, you have to go what they go through. You know, like that idea. I will post in the comments down below. I will figure it out what the movie was. You know, it was a good movie. Not horror, but definitely a heavy psychological thriller. But Julie Benz, that doesn't make sense, though. It's like, oh, I got it, they come for me, because she doesn't, it's not like she got a gun. If she had a gun at one point, maybe, she grabbed the gun, okay, they come for me, I'm going to get them. She's just like, oh, I'm going to see what happens. So she puts herself as bait without really protecting herself any. And you can see how that happens, and you'll see about the ending, why I say it has a solid one. But I really like this, and this is something that is on Netflix right now. I will say, though, again, if anyone's pushed to watch this, is because Danielle Harris is in it, who is one of the top screen queens, in my opinion, which I guess that's not really that controversial of an opinion to make. But if you're watching it for that reason, maybe the movie isn't for you because he's not in it that long. But, you know, I think Steven Seagal was an executive decision longer than Danielle Harris is at Havenhurst. But if you want a good movie that does build up some suspense, even though you sort of see where most of it's going, you want to have a couple of good abductions. There is one big scene with some excessive gore, you know, which you don't see a lot of, which some people like because then it's not torture porn-esque, but you definitely have a lot of implications of things happening. And at least one of the kills is somebody who deserves it, a real ass of a guy. So, Havenhurst, Haunted Horror Review number 20. I'm not sure, I have no idea. Usually I like to drop a sort of allusion to what 21 will be. I'll be honest with you, I got a whole bunch of options I'm trying to decide from. I might go with a real scary flick. I might go with more comical, like something like The Night of Something Strange, which everyone tells me is a trip. So we'll see. If I think it is, I'll let you know about it. But thanks for checking out my reviews, everybody. As always, like, comment, subscribe. You have a great one.